Blessings, radiant ones. It's Karina, and I have my glasses on. Which I don't normally do, or maybe I do, not that often. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in and make this quick video. I'm just feeling very inspired by this teaching that I want to share with you. And I hope it serves you today. You know, I hope it helps you in some way really connect and be more of that radiant you who's just like wanting so badly to shine forth. And actually these ways in which, like I'm going to talk about in a moment, that we dampen that shine. It really, like, it takes a lot of energy. Hey, Diana, welcome. It takes a lot of energy to keep our radiance down. It really does. And so, you know, I wanted to talk about but you're really longing for it to shine, right? So, and there's fear around that. And so it's like, what are we really afraid of? What are we really afraid of? And it's like, and then what can we do to live more fully in that radiant self? Like now, like today, like in your life today, like what I'm telling you here is designed to affect you now in this moment and change you. So the way you show up for the rest of your day is different. And so let this affect you in that way, right? It's too often in life that we just think things like we're so rote. It's like we're so in default that we just take for granted the moments that are at hand, and that this stuff isn't for later. This stuff is for right now. And if you don't get that, then that's like the primary foundation from which we're speaking. This is not information for you to consume and kind of think about. This isn't information for you to like, you know, it's not, you're not studying for your life. You're in your life right now. So I hope this allows your intention to be a little stronger in terms of like taking what I'm about to say seriously and really utilizing, you know, this mindset and also this heart set and the tools, like really doing it in your life today. So, you know, the thing that we're actually really afraid of, and this harkens back to that famous quote that Marianne Williamson has, who's running for president, or has announced her candidacy for, you know, her intention to run. And so, you know, it's this quote that's so famous, and it's not actually our faults that we fear, though we like to, I'm adding this on, we like to pretend that, you know, it's actually the like places where we're not, you know, perfect. Like we like to pretend that it's our anxiety, it's our depression, our like anger, you know, like our patterns of like quitting all the time, you know, like we like to pretend that it's our brokenness that we're afraid of. And we actually will focus on that brokenness, on that breakdown inside of ourselves. And that perpetuates a feeling of shame. And then that allows us to stay stuck in that story of not enough. Okay, so that story of not enough is the thing that gets in the way the most. It's not that it's there. It's actually that we believe it. And it's so easy. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome. It's so easy for us to believe that not enough story because it's what we've believed our whole life. And because we don't want to get uncomfortable, which is what I've been talking about a lot, is getting uncomfortable. Because we don't want to get uncomfortable, we just think we're going to solve the feeling of, you know, being in like fear and feeling small and feeling insignificant, feeling chronically dissatisfied in our lives. We pretend that, or we think that, well, I'll just focus on how I'm not enough, and I'll just spend a lot of time in shame. And then I'll also like complain and blame other people in my life for that as well. And I'm just going to stay in where things are not working because that's what I've always done. This is easy. It's super easy to stay in what's not working. That's not where our work is. I mean, I know this from experience, not just like above all this. I mean, it was like every day I go through this of like noticing the place where I'm stuck and what's wrong. And in that moment, like brightening up my awareness, going, no, 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 what is it? What is it that I'm devoted to being? And so it's not our breakdown or our brokenness that we're afraid of. It's not that. It's actually this idea of who we would become if we lived more into the truth of you're already good enough. You're actually already magnificent. You're already brilliant and radiant, right? Like, it's scary for a lot of people to drop the story that they're broken because it requires a level of responsibility to just be like joy, just be love. Like whatever it is you complain about that you're not getting in your life, the hard thing is to actually be that. Like that's what's hard. And that's where your work is. That's where my work is, right? So it's like if I want a really connected relationship with my husband, I have to ask myself the hard question of, well, where's my level of connection now? Mine. And can I devote to connecting to him? Like, can I devote myself to being that which I seek? And so, you know, our own healing work is really important here. Like, it's really important that we do the work of like feeling our feelings. Because when we feel our feelings, then like we're not holding the people in our lives hostage for like providing something to us that we're like needed to be provided from our parents, right? So like we need to set that up so we're getting those old needs met in present moment time. And our partners can do that for us, especially in a conscious relationship. But you know, like that's like, it doesn't have to be that way. And so, you know, that's a caveat. Like, you got to be doing your internal work yourself so that you can be freed up and then you can like just be that. So it's like, that's the thing that's harder for us and I think scarier for us because one, the ego isn't comfortable with that because it's change and it's death. Like, quite frankly, you got to die that part of you. You have to die. The allegiance you have to your brokenness has to die. Ooh, I just said a mouthful there. So just take that in because are you willing to love yourself enough to step outside of your shame and just claim your enoughness right now in this moment? Like just be anointed, like be in that place of like, I am good enough, not because you are showing that to me, not because I've gotten permission to finally feel good enough in my life and at whole. I'm not waiting until it just happens because it hasn't and it never will. Like you claim it. Like get that. Like you stand up in that. Like right now in that moment. You don't wait for your mind to agree. You don't wait for like someone else to give it to you. God has ordained you already. And so whatever is in the way of that is bullshit. That's, for you to like go, that old story, like, that's not true anymore. Like, think about too, like, how much do you replay the past? How much is your past impacting and affecting how you're showing up in this moment? I mean, it's really, get honest, because it's really terrifying sometimes to see that you are, until you really devote yourself to dropping the past and stepping fully into this moment as the magnificent, radiant being that you were designed to be. And until you get that is the key to unleashing your energy and unleashing your joy and unleashing your peace and your love. That's it. Stop waiting for it. Forgive. Like, trust you are forgiven. Like, don't even wait to forgive yourself. Like, don't even wait for that. Just trust that you are forgiven and live as if that were true, right? Because, what we're really afraid of is who we would be if we just were that unleashed. Like, imagine how much love you could bring to the world and how much love you could receive. Most of us are actually terrified of intimacy. We're terrified of love. We pretend like it's all we want, but the truth is we're so blocked by our own judgments. We're so blocked by our own critical nature. Those are all blocks to love. That's all the ways you defend yourself against actually loving and being loved. Like, what if you could just remove that? Give yourself permission to love the people in your life because they're there. Like, how amazing would that be if you weren't waiting for them to show up as some other human? Like, that's what you got. And it's no mistake, right? This idea that somehow we made bad choices in our lives and it's like a mistake that's that's ridiculous. Like, this is all right. Like, everything in this moment is all right. It's all right. It's all happening because it's right. Like, really take that in for a second. Your imperfect partner, your kids, your house that's never clean enough, it's like all right. And then where do you go from here? Like, I give you that challenge today. Like, can you just pretend, like, I don't know, not pretend, but just dare you step outside of your shame? Like, dare you turn away from that critical mind and the way it wants to criticize everyone in your life? Dare you not shame yourself for being critical? Right? That's where your work is. That's where all of our work is. Because, man, if we did that consistently, who we were falls away, and then we have to feel that primal fear of who am I? And you get to readjust. You get to grow, right? And it doesn't feel comfortable. And that's what you're called to do. That's why you're listening to this. And so I have a challenge for you today. Today, I challenge you to be in complete consideration of the people in your life. Meaning, and I'm doing this challenge today too, and you're gonna fail, right? You're gonna fuck this up. This is not a perfection thing, right? So like, that's just a given. You're gonna fail. So don't go for perfect. Just go for like, I do it, intend it, but there's going to be people throughout the day that you don't consider. And so that's just going to happen. You might choose, like, I'm going to really consider the people that are in my life. I'm going to get in their skin and like really consider what they are going through. Like, what are they going through? What's this experience like? And if you don't know, ask. Like, what is that like for you? I mean, this is so deep. Like, we're so in our own way around this. It just brings tears to my eyes. It's like, how long have you lived with your partner and don't really know them because you're so wrapped up in your own stuff? I mean, that was so much love. But at the end of our day, that's what's going to matter, and that's what we're going to think about. And so I promise you, you will not regret being more considerate of the people that you love because you are them and they are you. So maybe just one person, like, be in consideration of them and let your come from be from there, right? I declare today it'll be my husband. And so who is it for you? And then write it, like, comment here and make that bold claim so that you can be accountable for, you're designed. I mean, imagine the level of happiness that you can have in your life when you really get that the people in your life are the people that are supposed to be there. And the life you're living is the one you ought to be living. Like, when you really get that, life becomes infinitely fantastic and amazing, and nothing stops you anymore. You get to be really happy in your life, but it's not going to be from things changing outside of you. It's not going to be from things changing outside of you. Like all those strategies to just change everything outside of you, they don't work, right? They've never worked. You are the one, as you become that change, as you be that, the whole world changes. And that's like not just some airy-fairy, like esoteric teaching. It's just the truth. It is esoteric too. So I hope that serves you today. I hope it serves you just to like really get how freaking incredible you are. Like right now in this moment. Because you exist. You're no accident. You're not here for no reason. Your insignificance was taught to you. Right? So you forgive that. And then be in your magnificence as often as possible. Right? Decide to let go of, decide you don't need to be ashamed of who you are. You can feel your shame when it comes up, but you don't need to be ashamed. Right? You can feel it when it comes up. This is important. Right? It's like, how do you hold both? Feel your feelings without believing them. Right? Feel your feelings without believing their story. Shame has a story. The story is bunk. But it's still there in your body and just needs love and attention. But just don't believe the story. Right? And then move forward in your radiance. And consider one person in your life today that you really, that they're there and they matter. And you know that your life would be infinitely better if you just related to this person better. And so choose that today and let me know how it goes. And have an amazing rest of your day. Namaste.